Radio show on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM. Our show is produced by Green Alliance and sponsored by NV Energy. Today's guest is Adam Grant from NV Energy, and we're talking about Power Shift. Morning, Adam.
Morning, how are you?
I am marvelous.
Good.
And we also have the lovely Annette Bubak recording for Facebook Live. So our Facebook Live listeners, if you got questions, please call in or send her a note, and we'll talk about those on the air. And callers, if you have, or listeners, if you have a question you'd like for Adam and I to answer, our number is 702-257-5396. That is 702-257-KDWN. When we went to break, we were talking about the small gaps around windows, doors, and odd other places like can lights. So let's finish up that discussion. I would say the cheapest energy conservation efficiency product you can buy is a tuba caulking and seal up those cracks. The biggest heat loss is through air infiltration. So tell us a little bit more about that before we move on.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the ability to seal up your home and not have the air leave, the cold air you're producing from the air conditioner in the summertime, can be devastating on the summer bills, and then true in the winter too. I know we were talking off air during the break about not really. You have to keep the cold air in here in Las Vegas in the summer because it's our lifeblood with 115 potentially outside. To let as much as that cold air can flow out, that will be more that your air conditioner has to work. So that'll be ability to save on your bill, or have your bill skyrocket if that air conditioner has to work that much harder.
Plus, if you have those leaks and you're losing your cold air and warm air is infiltrating, your house is not consistent. So as you walk around your house, you'll feel it's warmer in some places or cooler in other places, and which will take us to the next thing, which is consistent insulation. When I had my house insulated, that was the one thing I noticed, is that it made my rooms consistent because I walked around the house. The whole house felt the same. So tell us about insulation and how we should get that checked.
Well, that's one thing that our assessment can do. We'll look at your insulation and see if you have up to standard. The R30 is kind of standard. We recommend more efficient, but to make sure that you have your home sealed and insulated, because as we talked about, that cool air in the summertime, you want to keep it in the house. You want to keep it working for you as opposed to cooling your backyard or your attic above the insulation. Really important to try to make sure that you're keeping that air in the home and not and also moving the sun. More barrier of insulation that has to go through is less it does in your home to keep your air conditioner won't have to work as hard.
Right. So I was in the military, and one of my favorite lines I ever heard in the military was my friend Bob yelling at his wife, "Donna, close the door. 8,000 BTUs won't cool the whole outside." So it's important to keep those cracks and everything closed up. Get your insulation looked at. When I had mine looked at, I actually had sheetrock showing up on top.
Oh, really?
What I didn't do, which I kick myself for now because live and learn, is seal all those holes, all the penetrations from your attic down into your house, into your walls where the wires go, and all those kind of holes, anything around ductwork. So have that looked at too. So before your insulation goes down, you want to have that sealed. What's that called?
Shell sealing.
Yeah, shell sealing.
Shell sealing. There you go. Thank you, Annette.
Well, and you have to think about it. So at the hottest point of the day, the sun is coming down from you're seeing the most heat come straight in from the top or from the kind of the southwest facing area, but it's coming from high. So the heat is going to be coming in down to low. So getting those areas, as you said, sealed in your attic above the roof, above your ceiling is really important.
So there's three different kinds of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. So even though there's not an airflow, even if you had it all sealed, there is a certain amount of heat that is being conducted down through all the materials and everything. So you can't hardly stop that, other than you get it insulated, and then
make it more difficult.
And then the convection is you seal all those holes so it can't flow through airflow. So there's a lot to that, and that really will cut your bill back a lot by getting insulation.
I was going to say, Paul, it's a good thing that you had that insulation done, though, because if you're seeing sheetrock, it's almost like wearing a parka while skiing with a bunch of holes in it.
Right.
So good job on
Unzip.
that.
Leave it unzipped and then fly. down.
Exactly. And expect to stay warm.
Expect it, right? Why am I so cold?
What?
And it was interesting walking around the house. You could feel those areas where that sheetrock was showing. You could actually feel it was warmer in that area. So that's why I say after I got the installation, it was consistent throughout the whole house. Free thermostats. Who doesn't want a free thermostat? I'm on my third one. You get to program them standing in front of it or from your phone. So I actually turn my air conditioning off during the day in the summertime. And then on my way home, I pull out my phone, turn it on, and let it cool down while I'm there.
Okay, so I would not recommend turning it completely off. I would recommend setting it up maybe 8 to 10 degrees, because then you're talking about your air conditioning has to work that much harder if it's up at 100 degrees in your home as opposed to like 90. And yeah, we don't recommend
It
you
never
turn it
gets to
completely.
100.
Okay,
And
we
being
don't
an
recommend you turn it off.
Being an energy engineer and certified energy manager and certified carbon reduction manager and working with PEs, they said, and I believe in this, what burns your air conditioning out is starting and stopping. It runs however it runs. And if it gets hotter, yes, it works a little bit harder, but as long as there's airflow in the house, you'll be cool. And the starting and stopping is what burns your air conditioning out. And so if it turns on and runs for 3 hours straight, that's a good thing, because now it hasn't started and stopped. Plus, it hasn't started and stopped all day long. So that's my take on it.
Okay, we recommend setting it up to 85 to 88 degrees as opposed to turning it off. And that's what the smart thermostat will do. It'll have the ability for you to not even worry about it. You can set the temperature, set a schedule. It'll go up there to that 85, 90 degrees, and then it knows that you're going to be on your way home about whatever time you're coming home. You can either set a schedule to have it do it for you, or you can do it by your phone and program and say, I'm on my way, and hit the button, and it'll start cooling for you.
And in a perfect world, if your house is fully insulated and all the leaks are sealed,
You're not going to lose that
you're
temperature.
not going to lose
Yeah.
that. So setting it like that works just fine.
Yeah,
So
good suggestion.
I'm an energy conservation manager, so I have my own little quirks there. Let's talk some more about that assessment, though. How do you get that free assessment?
nvenergy.com/powershift is the best way to go. You can schedule it right online. Click a button, and then it can give you options to come and schedule. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Give it a couple-hour window. We'll call you 48 hours before to confirm. Call you the morning of to make sure you're there. And it takes, again, about 45 minutes to an hour. Unless we also offer direct install pieces too. So it will look at your lighting, and if you don't have LEDs in all your places, we'll give you a couple to show you what the benefits will be. Put them in some high-use areas where maybe you don't have them, and then so that may take a little bit more time, but plan for an hour.
I was surprised too how fast they came out. I mean, they scheduled they were out like the next week or something, within 2 weeks easily. And it's very educational as well. So you kind of learn about your home, things that you wouldn't normally learn about. So when they come in and talk to you about different things, it's a very good education as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can walk around with them and really learn about the opportunities. And there's some things that, again, like you said, you don't think of that is affecting your energy use in your home.
I think that type of education is almost something that every homeowner should have, because once they get into a home and they buy their home, they don't realize the operating costs and how to better manage that. So I'm glad that you guys are doing those.
So you do learn about how to operate your home better. And it's an investment as well as it's like a little business right there in your home. So you might as well be as efficient as possible. We were talking about changing out LED lights, and I did a little comparison. My 3-way lamp on the side of my bed was a 50, 100, and 150 watt bulb. And when I changed it out to the LED bulb, I didn't even look at it. And then one day I was like, how much does that reduce? So I pulled it out. It's a 5.4, 7.5, and 15 watts, the 3-way. So
Yeah, 80%.
it's
Significant.
it's significant. So it's big change. Now, when you look at changing all your lights in your whole house to LED, people tell me all the time, I saw it change right away the first month in their first utility
It's the
bill.
easiest, quickest way to see an immediate change.
That's
So
true.
we'll
Those
talk
change
more
LEDs,
about this
yeah.
when we come back to Shades of Green on KD.